Well, hello, North Park. My name is Trish Hack. I'm the pastor of care ministry here at North Park, and I also oversee small groups and prayer. What can I say about 2020? It was a year unlike any other we have experienced before. I think the first thing I want to tell you is that I saw our church community lean into prayer this year like never before. We saw a record number of people subscribe to our weekly prayer letter, where we send out prayer requests from the needs of our congregation as well as ministries happening through the church, and prayer requests for the wider London community. Today, those requests are being sent out to almost 350 people each week. Also, when the pandemic hit, we started gathering online to pray on Wednesday evenings. We often had between 30 and 50 people gathering over Zoom to spend time in prayer together, and all told, over 100 North Parkers engaged with these times of prayer at one point or another throughout the year. It's been so special to gather with others in our church family to pray together this past year, and it's something that we are continuing in 2021. You likely don't know this, but our prayer team has also been meeting online each and every Monday afternoon to pray for the needs of our church and to pray for our services and the ministries happening through North Park. And that's also been so meaningful to engage with each week. But prayer is not the only way that we've stayed connected with one another throughout the past year. Many North Park small groups continued to meet throughout 2020. Some groups moved online, others held, outdoor, social distanced small group meetings. And in the fall, we were also able to open up the church to host several small group nights at the church where small groups could meet on site safely with social distance protocols in place. In the fall, we also launched Quads, a new small group initiative that helped people connect in groups of 4 online to have spiritual conversations, encourage each other, and pray for one another. We had great engagement with this new initiative, with over 60 people connecting in with 15 unique quads. In so many ways, connection and care continued to happen this past year, despite the limitations we had in not being able to gather. We were even able to move our grief share, divorce care, and cancer care groups online with great success. These online groups were a lifeline in the midst of that first lockdown, especially continuing to meet together long past the end dates that had been scheduled for these groups. We were really surprised to discover how well these groups can run online. They've been such a great source of support and will be continuing to offer that into 2021. We were also able to continue with our food cupboard ministry throughout the year, thanks to the generous support of our North Park family. We supported over 30 families on an ongoing basis, as well as some families from North Park Huron. And although we had to get creative about how we ran things, we were able to safely get groceries into the hands of those who needed it, while also providing a touch point for prayer and community for the families supported by this ministry. When things began to open up again, our meal team was also able to start again, providing meals to those recovering from surgery or facing other challenges that left them in need of some extra care and support from the church. Pastor Paul and I were also able to continue providing pastoral care and counseling throughout the year, though we couldn't always do this in the usual ways. We hope that the marriage moments and the mental health moments that we posted online were helpful to you as you navigated the stress, anxiousness, grief, and other challenges of pandemic life. We were also able to leverage email and phone and video calls to take the place of in-person visits and counseling sessions. And we're grateful for the way that technology enabled us to continue to listen and encourage and pray with those who were struggling this year and who had reached out for support. Our visitation team continued to check in with those who are sick and shut in, and when visits weren't possible, they were able to just use phone calls to offer some support and prayer. We were also able to deliver DVD copies of the weekend service to those who don't have internet access, just ensuring that those who are cut off from the digital world weren't also cut off from their church community. 2020 was a year where many families stepped into a season of grief. It was a difficult year to lose a loved one for sure, especially as people couldn't gather together with their extended family and have a funeral service the way we would normally. But people still found ways to celebrate and remember their loved ones. And Paul and I also had the opportunity to officiate several small outdoor graveside services as well. Overall, we supported 59 grieving families this past year through prayer, encouragement cards, phone calls, counseling, and our Grief Share program. Well, a lot happens through these ministries at North Park, but what encouraged me most this year was the way that our congregation cared for one another. And I heard stories time and again of people stepping into moments of care for one another. A guiding scripture verse for care ministry is John 13, verse 35. It says, "Love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." This year, I've been so proud of our church for the way that we have lived this out, caring for one another in practical ways, praying for each other, and searching out ways to be a life-giving and a transforming presence in our families, our community, and the world. Despite the challenges of a global pandemic, I think for us at North Park, 2020 was a year of profound faith and deepened care for one another, and I'm so grateful to be part of this amazing church family.